Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that honestly sits pretty heavy on the hearts of so many parents. We're going to unpack exactly why children hide bullying and how our own well-meaning, deeply protective reactions can actually accidentally make it harder for them to open up. Think of this as just two close friends sitting down, trying to work through a really painful problem together, using some incredible insights to guide us. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's start by picturing a scenario. And it's one that might feel a little too familiar. You've noticed a shift in your kid over the last couple of weeks. Maybe it's their favorite hoodie that suddenly never comes out of the closet anymore. Or maybe it's those sudden morning stomach aches that magically only seem to happen on school days. So you're sitting there over coffee, you finally look right at them, and you ask this very direct question: is someone bullying you? And then they look away. They completely avoid your eyes. And they give you this answer. They insist, no. Everything is fine. As a parent, that answer can feel like a gut punch. It leaves you feeling stung, panicked, maybe even a little betrayed, because you know in your gut that something isn't right. You're probably thinking, we're so close, why wouldn't they just tell me? And when the truth eventually does come out, your very first instinct is probably going to be to ask, why did you hide this from me? Well, here is the absolutely crucial point we have to understand. We need to completely reframe how we view that silence. Their silence is not a sign of a weak relationship with you, and it certainly isn't proof that nothing happened. It's actually a survival mechanism. It's a coping strategy to manage a situation that feels intensely socially dangerous to them. Your child isn't just being stubborn or pushing you away. They are constantly calculating massive risks that we might not even be able to see. So what exactly are those risks? Well, kids calculate the dangers of telling all the time. The absolute biggest one is the fear of retaliation. They're terrified that if they tell you, everyone's going to find out, they'll be labeled a snitch, and the treatment will just get worse. Then there's the deep shame of it all. Bullying targets the most vulnerable parts of a kid, right? Their appearance, their identity. Having to repeat those insults out loud to you can feel like living that humiliation all over again. Plus, there's the need to preserve a sense of control. Bullying completely strips their power away, and keeping the secret kind of feels like the only power they have left. And finally, they might just be using completely different definitions. We're sitting there waiting for them to say the word bullying, but they might call it drama or joking or beef. If we only look for our adult labels, we totally miss their reality. Now, when we feel that parental panic set in, it's so easy to fall into our first really common mistake, the rapid-fire interrogation. Who did it? When did it happen? Why didn't you just walk away? Who else saw it? Instead of firing off 10 questions a minute, which honestly just makes your kid feel like they're being cross-examined in a courtroom, we really need to slow down. Try a gentle invitation instead. Something like, hey, I've noticed mornings are pretty hard lately. Tell me what you want me to understand. It focuses on connection, not on building a case file. Another deeply common reaction is making the delay itself the problem. When we ask, why didn't you tell me sooner, what our child actually hears is, you handled this wrong. We're unintentionally victim blaming them out of our own sense of hurt. Instead, we need to normalize just how incredibly hard it is to speak up in the first place. Saying, I am so glad you're telling me now, completely shifts that burden. It shows them that coming forward, no matter how long it took, was exactly the right thing to do. And because we so desperately want them to open up, we often try to coax it out of them by saying, I promise I won't tell anyone. But here's the thing. Promising total secrecy can horribly backfire if their safety actually requires you to take action. If there are threats involved or risks of self-harm, you are going to have to break that promise, and that shatters their trust in you entirely. So we must offer honest privacy instead. Tell them, look, I won't spread this around, I will include you, and I'll tell you before I involve anyone else, unless you are in immediate danger. That gives them the predictability they really need. Oh, and then there's the mama bear or papa bear instinct. We want to act, and we want to act right now. We want to confront the other parents, blast it in a local Facebook group, or literally march right up to the kids at school pickup. I know that urge is so overwhelmingly strong, but doing that practically guarantees retaliation against your child. It makes the cost of telling you way too high. Instead, you have to use the absolute smallest, most private circle possible to coordinate action. Remember this: private action protects your child. Public action exposes them. Let's just pause here and take a real breath, because we seriously need to rethink how we view resilience. So often, we minimize things in the name of building resilience. We tell them, just don't let them see it bothers you, or you just need to grow a thicker skin. But telling a kid to get a thicker skin doesn't build resilience.
As you can see here, resilience grows through support. It grows through adults stepping up and taking effective action, and by restoring a child's sense of belonging. It does absolutely not grow by forcing them to just endure repeated harm.
Okay, so how do we actually put all this into practice? When your child does finally open up, you need a safe framework. We call it the 5-step first conversation. Step 1, and this is by far the hardest, regulate your own first reaction. Take a breath. Do not overwhelm them with your adult anger or your tears. Step 2, thank and validate them. Explicitly tell them this is not their fault. Step 3, check for immediate safety, both physical and digital. Step 4, understand the pattern. Just ask a few gentle questions about who is involved and when it usually happens. And Step 5, agree on the very next small action together so they know exactly what to expect.
Now, to make that 5-step conversation actually work, the words you choose matter immensely. You want to use really warm, low-pressure language. Looking at them and saying, "You are not in trouble," is absolutely huge. Letting them know, "Hey, you can tell me this in parts," completely takes away the pressure of having to deliver this perfect start-to-finish testimony all at once. On the flip side, we have to explicitly avoid those immediate threats that strip away their control. Do not say, "Give me every single name right now," or "I'm calling their parents tonight," because that is exactly what they are terrified you're going to do. But what if you do all of this and your child still says absolutely nothing? Well, first off, don't force a confession. Instead, you calmly describe the changes you've noticed without a hint of accusation. Just say, "I've noticed you stopped sitting with your usual group, and I just want you to know I'm right here when you're ready to talk." Keep monitoring the situation, their sleep, their moods, their eating habits, and be sure to offer multiple routes to communicate. Maybe they literally can't say the words out loud to your face, but they could text you, or maybe they'll open up during a car ride where they don't have to make awkward eye contact.
Eventually, though, you will likely need to bring the school into the picture, and when you do, you have to do it without silencing your child all over again. Tell your child your exact plan. When you reach out to the school, ask for one specific staff member to coordinate a private assessment. You want to specifically ask them to avoid an unplanned, sit-down, joint meeting with the kids involved. Your goal here is to get adults to monitor the situation without exposing your child to this massive public power dynamic where they have to face down their bully. To keep us from acting out of sheer, unfiltered parental panic, let's look at this incredibly grounding 72-hour plan. On the very first day, your only job is to listen, check their immediate safety, and privately document the facts. That's it. No public confrontations. The next day, day 2, you identify one coordinating adult at the school and one safe friend or activity for your child. And then by the third day, you step back and review. Is my child actually safer now? Has any retaliation happened? It just gives you a really calm, measured roadmap to follow. Now, as the week goes on, there's a real danger that this trauma is going to completely consume your entire relationship with your child. To prevent that heavy cloud from just taking over everything, try the 7-day experiment. Replace your endless, anxious questioning throughout the day with just one highly predictable 10-minute daily check-in. You ask them, "Do you want me to just listen today? Do you want me to help you think? Or do you want me to take an action?" And then, when those 10 minutes are up, go do an ordinary, fun, shared activity. You have to actively protect the joy in your relationship. Finally, at the end of that week, you ask them this single, incredibly powerful question. What did I do that made talking easier, and what made it harder? Now look, the answer might sting a little. It can be deeply uncomfortable to hear how your initial reactions affected them. But being able to hear that feedback without getting defensive, that is the ultimate key to rebuilding trust. So I'll leave you with this thought. Are you willing to be the safe harbor who can handle their messy, delayed, complicated truth without trying to take over? Because when you become that safe place, you truly change everything for them. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep being the amazing, fiercely supportive parents you are.